Live! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Creator Town Hall, the new version, new time. We've retooled a few things, but let's get underway, shall we? Let's do it. Yes, it is indeed time for the Creator Town Hall. I hope you are all doing well. This is episode 16, and this is at our new time of 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And that was due to popular demand because a lot of folks were saying they couldn't catch the show and they definitely couldn't catch it live because you're in the UK or you're in Europe or you're somewhere where it is very late at night. And I understand it's a Sunday night, even though it's Monday morning for me because time is weird and I'm here in the future. What do we got on the show today? We'll be talking about a bunch of stuff. I'm going to be talking about some confidence issues, I guess, so that people might hear you and how you get over that. We're going to solve some problems of the left channel only when you're actually recording using an audio interface. I'll explain why that happens. We've got your questions as well, and we've got some hidden gems coming up later in the show. I'm going to tell you about some of the cool YouTube channels that I've been checking out through the week and in the past few months. But if you do have your own questions, please do this. Just put the word question in front of your comment, and I will definitely be getting to as many of those as we can throughout the show as well. To kick things off here today, let's talk about this topic, and I want to get your opinions on this because I was doing my my show yesterday, which is a happy hour show. I did a 90s happy hour show. It's a heap of fun, and if you've never joined the happy hour, do so. That's even later than this one. I know many of the folks in the UK and Europe can't catch it live, but if you did catch it, I was playing 90s songs and I was enjoying myself, and I went out after the show and I'm chatting to my wife, and she said, I heard you do this bit of this song and I heard you do this bit of this song. And it made me think about the fact that it's taken me, or the best part of 5 years, to actually have the confidence of being able to just do this. Like, there's people outside that door. It's only my family, but I don't know if anyone else feels the same way about this. I will broadcast out to a live public audience, or I'm recording videos that I know are going to go out on YouTube or Facebook or wherever. And I feel 100% fine about that. I've built up this resistance, but the last resistance I built up was people like right here. The people, it's almost like the people that you know the best, the people that you spend the most time with, are the people that, well, for me, that I was the most self-conscious about being in front of. So talking in front of or playing music in front of. And I think it comes down to the fact that the people you know, the people you love, are the ones that you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to let those people down. And you not fear their judgment, but you care about their opinion. You care about their thoughts so much. And it's not that I don't care about what other people think, but there's a difference between people that are like right there that you work talking to day in, day out, versus people that you just are on the internet. That I know, I do know a lot of you folks, but I've never met you, and you're not going to be here. I don't have to go and do the dishes, and you won't be there talking to me about what I just did. So it's just something I wanted to start with, because one of the things that people talk to me about and ask me about when they're first starting out with music is they're like, I just can't do it. I can't do it if anyone else is in the house. I have to wait for everyone to go out of the house. And I can't do it in front of my mum, my dad, my brother, sister, children, significant other. And it's this, it's weird. It's this fear of what people are going to think about what we do. The one thing I'll say, the one thing I've learnt over the past sort of 5 years of doing this is it's never as bad as you think. And in fact, it's worse than that. Most of the time, people will either be encouraging and will say, hey, it's a cool thing that you're doing, or they just won't care. And I know that sounds really harsh, doesn't it? That people won't care. Not saying that your family don't care about your music, but there's a reason why you have a Facebook page for your music and then a regular Facebook page, because your 200 Facebook friends, maybe 10 of them might be interested in what you're doing and your music stuff, and the rest of them are just there for the ride. So I wanted to start with that thought because, like I said, yesterday it dawned on me that I think the reason that a lot of folks are not doing things is fear of judgment from other people. And weirdly, the more people I talk to, it's less to do with fear of judgment from random stranger McStrangerson on the internet, and it's more to do with fear of judgment from our inner circle, from our family, from our friends. And that may not be for everyone, but I know for a lot of people, they just won't do it because, and if you're struggling with that, start by doing exactly what I said before. Wait for everyone to go out of the house and then sing and then get your stuff out there, because again, you want to sing like no one's watching, listening, you want to get 100% because a lot of people pull within themselves and are not giving that 100%. Let me know what you think anyway. If you're here live, let me know in the comments. If you are on the replay, let me know there as well. Hello, let's say good day to everyone because we've got a bunch of folks here. Sing along, yes, hello to you. We got Mr. Mark. Bro, welcome back, Mark. Mark's had a weekend with the family and has missed a couple of the shows, but good to have you here. Joe Glenn, good day to you. We got Thomas Christ. 30 degrees, but very windy. Now, is that 30 Celsius or 30 Fahrenheit? 30 Celsius would be very hot. We got Mr. Stu Cash. Yeah, exactly. So it's folks like Stu Cash that is why I'm making these town halls earlier, because I think it's just important to make it as accessible as possible. Bubba's here. Guzzo, who's here in Australia, will be joining me early, because for our Australian friends, this is a pretty early one. But, grab your Vegemite on toast and your coffee and settle in. Hello, Josiah Manley. G'day to you. Hope you're doing well. Did I say g'day to Bubba? The Mixed Club's in the house. Hello to you. Frigsy, hello to you. We played a cool cover of the Shipping Up to Boston song, and it was Shipping Up to Droda. I'm probably saying that wrong, Frigsy. We played that on the Your Music Live this week, which was very, very cool. So thank you for that. Guzzo says that my wife is my harshest / best critic. Exactly. No, I love the fact that my wife, I don't know. If my wife was placating to me and was just like, "Oh, good job, dear. Everything you do is amazing," it wouldn't help me out. I'm not saying that she's harsh by any stretch, but she would just say, "Oh, that was good that you did that." That one, when I was playing some Nirvana songs, preparing for the show, I was playing About a Girl, and it's like that. I need an easy friend, and every time I'd hit that, I'd feel like, "Oh God, I missed that one." And I walked outside, I just looked at her, and she's like, "Can you take that down like a few tones?" And I'm like, just doesn't work for the chord progression. I'm not going to play it. And then I went back and learnt all apologies. So sometimes you just need that someone else to tell you and to make sure that you are not deluding yourself that you can hit those Kurt Cobain high notes. Yeah, the closest to you will give you the best feedback. Exactly, as long as they don't have the American Idol syndrome, because that's the worst part of that is sometimes you're talking with other folks and they have what I call American Idol syndrome, which is where instead of actually giving you the reality check of the situation, they'll just placate to you and tell you what you want to hear. That doesn't help anyone. Barry Smith, good day to you. I have the new Scarlett Interface 2i2 3rd Gen. Can you master in Cubasis 3? Sure can. The Cubasis 3 actually has some great mastering options. Let's check my my screen sharing so that we can get into some of this, because we want to do a bit of practical stuff here. It is the Creator Town Hall after all. So yeah, I was actually impressed. And my next song, I'm actually considering in Songtember, which is just around the corner. If you're new to the channel, Songtember is what we do every September. We have a month, we create a song in a month, we all join in and do it. I'm thinking of mastering here in Cubasis, because whilst I still love using GarageBand, Cubasis actually has some really cool options, especially when you come in here into the master fader, because you've actually got not only an actual master fader, but you have the ability to add effects such as the channel strip and the master EQ right there on the master bus, which is super cool. And that's the wrong channel, isn't it? It's over here. Thought something looked wrong. There you go. So you can actually have this master strip. It's got this built-in mastering master strip, which apparently makes your iPad go away. It was good while it lasted. We'll reconfigure this. I'll get that set back up while we have a chat to some other folks here live. Orchestra Eclipse, g'day to you. See again, folks like Orchestra Eclipse can drop on in because we're at this earlier time. So yeah, hopefully you're enjoying the ability to be here live to all my friends in the UK and Europe. Josiah says, hi Pete, I've been trying to get my music good, but it never turns out good. How should I improve? It's an interesting question. Obviously, how long is a piece of string? I think Barry Glenn, just keep keeping on. Exactly. And practice makes progress. Spot on, it does. So yeah, practice makes progress. And it's an incremental thing. I often think that when you're starting out in music, it's an evolution, not a revolution. Yeah. So it is about continuing to practice. But in terms of practical steps of what you can do, the reason that my mantra here on this channel is create, record, release. If you're new to the channel, you may not be aware of that, but every time I do a video, every time I'm talking about something, I think in terms of that, create, record, release. If you create music, if you record it, get it documented somehow, and then release. Now, release doesn't have to mean you releasing it on DistroKid to like Spotify, release can just be letting go. Because what a lot of us do is we get into our audio caves and we create, we record, and then we just hold it. We have all of these 50%, 70%, 90% finished songs. We've never actually shared one. The benefit of sharing is, number one, is it puts a big full stop at the end. You're like, this is done. It teaches you to complete things, to ship, to get things completed. And the second and more important thing is it allows you to get feedback. So just as we were talking about before at the start of the show, being able to get feedback about your music is super, super vital. And folks like Joe and Barry Glenn, who are here in the chat, folks like Mark Bro, folks like the Indigo Sunsets, Stu and Andy, they've gotten so good. They've improved their music production, their songwriting, and their performing because they have been completing songs and they've been sharing those songs. And then people will say, hey, I really love what you did here. This bit here could use some tidying up. And then you know what's resonating with people, you know what's working, and then you know what's not. Because we all have what are called blind spots, which is where we think we're doing X, but it's actually coming out as Y. And if you're doing things just for yourself, that doesn't matter a lick. But if you want to produce music that is going to be listened to by people, which let's be honest, the majority of us do, then you may want to be actually doing that to share your music and make sure that you're getting it out there. So there you go. Hopefully that gives you some help there, Josiah. Yeah, I've been trying to start a drop and D&B drum and bass song, but sounds bad. Sounds slim. Is that a word? SLIM? Stupidly loud and I don't know. But yeah, and join some forums. Join the Create, Record, Release group on Facebook. Be part of this community. There's a lot of great creators here that are going to help you out big time. Friggsy says, I think the more you play, sing, record, you realize your limits. I know my vocals are decent within a range, but I've got to say, in that range, it's experience and it takes... Yeah, exactly. And the same for me. Learning that I can't and probably never will be able to sing About a Girl in E minor is probably something I need to just accept. There you go. Northern Ear bought an iPad Air today. No more squinting at the phone. Welcome to the iPad Club. You will enjoy your time, I'm sure. Crucial Eddie Cotton. Hello to you. I've been using your instructional videos for GarageBand. All I want to say is thank you. You helped me immensely. Well, thank you. Because it's folks like you that watch the videos that ensure that I can continue doing this. And every time someone says, hey, you did this and it helped me create that, it makes me happy because that's the goal here. I want to help. I want to help you create, record, and release your best music. It is all about you. As I say, it's YouTube, not MeTube. I think sometimes we get caught up and it's all it's like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's like, no, it's a community thing and it's about you. And I think the more giving you can do, the more you receive. I've said this a lot before, but people that go in, and you've seen these people into forums, into shows, into reaction shows, whatever it is, and they're like, they come in there and the first thing they say is, I just made a fire beat. I've got this song. You should play my song. My song is great. Without even engaging with anyone else in the community, it is all self-centered. It's centered around yourself. Whereas the more that you accept that there's a community there and the more you give back to the community, and this is for everyone, this isn't just for me, the more you give, the more you receive. You know, it's the old do unto others. It's the John 3:16. I don't care whatever deity you choose and whatever way you want to put it. You can call it karma. You can call it just being not a word. Nearly said a really bad word there. But yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Eddie Cotton. Appreciate you. Patrick Chandler, g'day to you. Thanks for dropping on by. There you go, Guzzo. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it, Guzzo. One of our Australian friends here. I really can't. I'm not going to try it because it's rough. It's really rough. You wouldn't want to hear it. All right, let's move on. Next topic I wanted to cover here is I wanted to say this. Congrats to Mr. Thomas Christ. Yeah, we had a pretty special thing that happened on the YML show. No, was it YML? Where was it, Tom? Yeah, it was YML. That Thomas Christ was at 97 subscribers. And at the end of the show, I don't usually do this because I've ranted before on this, that subscriber count is not the be-all and end-all. It's a vanity metric. It doesn't actually mean much, but because it unlocks a few things in YouTube and because, I don't know, obviously it just feels good. It gives you that little dopamine hit. So let's take it for what it is. But yeah, Thomas was at 97 subscribers. And I said, look, I don't usually do this. I'm not the sort of person that says, go and subscribe to people. But I said, Thomas does good music. music. He works his guts out. He does a live show every week. Go over and subscribe to Thomas if you haven't already. And we went from 97 to 103. So can we get a round of applause for the folks here live to Thomas Christ? And if you have not already subscribed and you like anything to do with industrial music or any sort of hardcore rock stuff, then you're going to dig Thomas Christ in a big bad way. I think he's like the new Trent Reznor. That's the way I think of Thomas Christ. He's gonna take over from Trent. No pressure or anything, Tom. But yeah, great job and well done. And keep doing what you're doing. Keep creating. And that's another example of what you can do when you really just put your mind to it and grind it out, because Tom resisted the urge of doing all the spammy self-promoting stuff. He resisted the urge of going and buying followers. And I say all this because I'm not saying that everyone's going out and doing that, but a substantial number of people are. Probably no one in this community is going down that track, but it gets tempting because I've been there. I started out when I had 100 subscribers, and when I had 1,000 subscribers, I still remember those times. And you spend all your time looking up and looking at other people and going, I want to be like them and I want it to happen now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to grind it out. It just doesn't work. And when it does work, it works for a really short period of time. I've said it before, but the worst thing that can happen to you as a creator is to have excessive success really early on. And that sounds super weird, doesn't it? But what it does is it creates this illusion of ease. It creates this illusion that things are going to be simple and straightforward. And the amount of people I've seen that have had this problem where they're really successful, they do well, they're showing this potential, they come out of the gates really strong, they just get this overconfidence. And confidence is important. Like having confidence in yourself is super important. But if you get overconfidence and it becomes sort of ego, an inflated sense of ego, then what can happen is that you think that that's going to be the way it's going to go forever. So a lot of folks that start YouTube channels, they have a viral hit, they come out of the gates, they get 1 million views, there are 100,000 subscribers in like a month. They think that that's going to just be like this continual linear growth. When they hit the wall and plummet down the other side, then they don't know how to handle it. So slow and steady growth in anything, in music, in video creation, in pretty much anything in life is the way to go. There's a reason that when you start lifting weights, which is something that I haven't done in a while, but I did back in the day, you don't just try and, do 100 reps with 20 kilo dumbbells on your first session. You will tear a bunch of stuff. And even if you succeed, you're going to regret it the next day when you can't move. So you start with 5 kilo weights and you do 20 reps, and then you maybe go to 7 kilo and you do 30 reps, and then you go to 10 kilo and you build up. And it's the same with everything in life. And I like the farming analogy for this one, is that you can't, like people that cram for exams or people that try to do this short-term stuff to get, instant gains, the get rich quicks, all that sort of stuff. Think about a farm. If you want to get a decent yield, a decent crop, you can't just be lazy for the whole season and then the day before you need to reap the crop, just sow it, because it's not going to be ready. You need to plant it, you need to fertilize it, you need to water it, and then you need to eventually harvest it. So there's no shortcut when it comes to things that are natural in life. But the unnatural things that people can shortcut, people seem to take that and go, I'll just shortcut this and go with it. So it's an interesting one. Yeah, exactly. Success can make you lazy too. That's why the first album for a lot of big bands is their best album. Exactly right. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. Joe says, transpose the key to suit my voice or chord. Yeah, I bring down, like, you probably notice I often play in E flat instead of E, so give myself a semitone of extra range to play some songs. And yeah, I'll just say I do use that a lot. The one that I couldn't do about a girl, because it was that E minor, that classic E minor to G. And I tried bringing it up to the fifth cape on the 5th fret and then going down. It sounded awful, and trying to go into a different key just didn't work. Like the actual sort of notes that came out when I played it with like an A minor to start instead of an E minor, it just didn't work. But yeah, it's I'm destined to never play it. Are you going to use GarageBand for the iMac and between GarageBand on the Mac versus Cubase 3, which would get your vocals sound good and better? Interesting question, and I'll answer this by saying it's all ones and zeros. And I know that this annoys some people when I say this, because some people have like their Pro Tools HD rigs and they have all the bells and whistles. Whatever's going in is converted into ones and zeros. So if I get a Neumann microphone and plug it through an SSL board and then go out into a converter and then plug it into a Mac running Pro Tools or plug it into an iPad running Cubase 3, it's recording the same stuff. It's the same ones and zeros because all the grunt work is being done by the gear and by your performance. So it goes in this order. Yeah, it goes performance because you need a good performance. I've heard some great recordings that have been done on really cheap gear and really cheap software, but it's just an epic recording. So there's that. And then it's about the quality of what you're going in through. And this doesn't have to be top level. You're not talking thousands of dollars worth of gear, but at least a decent microphone, at least, like an AKG D5 if you're going with a dynamic mic, or an Audio-Technica AT2020, something in the home studio that's going to give you a decent sound. And then third and least important is the software. The software that you're using and even the hardware that's recording, so that whether it's a Mac, PC, iPad, iPhone, is just accepting that digital signal that's been taken from your analog recording, converted into ones and zeros, and storing it. It's literally just storing ones and zeros. Just like a spreadsheet, it's storing ones and zeros as digital audio, and then it's playing them back again through your gear. So it really is down to your workflow. That's why I sit back and kind of chuckle when I see people spending time, wasting time defending. If someone comes to me and says GarageBand is shite and I'll never use it and you suck for using it, I'll say, what do you use? And they'll be like, FL Studio, brah. And I'll be like, more power to you. Does it work for you? Do you create good music? Yeah. Okay, good. You've won. That's it. Game over. So it really doesn't matter what software you're actually using. And I'll never tell someone to change the software unless their workflow isn't working with the software. So the one reason that I accept when people say, I don't want to use GarageBand anymore because I need sends and receives, I need more automation control, I need a master track. I'm like, cool, go try Cubase's 3, or go use GarageBand on a Mac, or go try something like Reaper or Cakewalk, BandLab by Cakewalk, any of those sort of DAWs. But again, all that is doing. And then you get into the arguments around, some have different plugins and some have different sort of audio engines and all this sort of thing. So yeah, there's some subtle differences, but at the end of the day, your performance, getting a quality recording going in, the actual hardware at the end of that chain that's recording the ones and zeros into a digital file these days doesn't matter. It's not like the old days where, if you got a really high-end tape deck, that was going to record better quality with lower noise floor than a really cheap tape deck. Digital is digital. It's on, off, it's 1 or 0. So hopefully that helps you and anyone else that's having similar sort of questions. Dogbert, hello to you. We've got Gino Therese. Gino says a lot of guitarists tune to E flat maybe. Also Beethoven loved E flat. It's fun to play an E flat. It gives me a little bit of extra range. And Night Train 1988, hello to you. Hope you're well. Hey Pete, how come that GarageBand songs don't have the full stereo sound? Well, they do. I'm not really sure on what the question is, a full stereo sound. When you're recording in GarageBand, you've got left and right channel, just as you do with everything else. So, it may just be down to what you're actually recording and utilizing your EQ and your volume and your compression. I did a couple of weeks ago, I did a sort of basics of mixing in GarageBand, and that's probably a good one to check out, where I talked about the importance of getting a good static mix. So balancing your volume, balancing your EQ, and using compression effectively is super important, in my opinion. Excuse me a moment. Sorry. I had a frog in my throat, and you didn't need to hear me try and clear it. What matters is the song and the performance, not the gear. And I couldn't think of a better way to to segue to the fact that today's show is brought to you by the Gear Guide at Studio Live Today. Yes, go to studiolivetoday.com/gear. So yes, the performance is important. It is not the gear. But that being said, you need something to record through, yeah? You need a microphone, or you need a audio interface, or you need a mixer, or you need headphones. If you are a mobile creator, or if you're a creator in the home studio, jump on over here, studiolivetoday.com/gear. It's my complete gear guide. You can see at the top there's affiliate links there through to Amazon, Sweetwater, eBay, or Thomann. You've got my current setup there. So this is all the gear that I use. This is used by me. This is tested by me. You know that if you buy this gear, it's going to work with your iPhone or iPad, because I am a mobile creator too. And then we go into a bunch of different sections. And each of these sections, you can see here, if you click on the main heading there, that'll take you into a relevant video. So that one's about me talking about all the different types of audio interfaces there that you can check out. And then you can come back here and take a look at all of the different ones that I've used and recommended. And there's a heap of different options there for mics, for USB microphones, for all your iOS gear, and everything in between. And monitor speakers. These monitors that I'm now using, the PreSonus Iris, are amazing. I know Mark Bro has a pair. Look at that, $99.95. And you get a free Studio One Prime and Studio Magic plugin suite. There you go. If you're a PC creator, look at that. Yeah, 197 reviews, 5 stars. And I agree with that. So it's not just me that's saying that these are good. It's not just Mark. It's not just people that own these. These are really, really good speakers. They just punch way above their weight for the $100 a pair. If you told me a year ago a $100 pair of speakers would kind of change your world, and my KRK rockets are gathering dust in the corner because I plugged these in to dry them out, and with the thoughts of, oh, well, I'll sell them or give them away or whatever. No, they're not going anywhere. I'm keeping them because they're just great. They've just got all the features that I need. So yeah, if you are in the market for gear, even though it is not the be-all and end-all, jump over to the Gear Guide, studiolivetoday.com/gear. Night Train 1988 also has the irises. Yeah, a lot of people are getting irises and loving them. I haven't actually heard a bad word said about them. So, which is weird because normally with every bit of gear, there's normally at least someone that comes out and says, yeah, it's not the right thing. Keep the questions coming, folks, like this one. Weary Pirate says, you might have covered this a million times, but if I've got any good tips for GarageBand newbies like me on how to do punch-in, punch-out editing, I could use it. Yeah, so GarageBand is not the great, it's not the most intuitive platform for punching in and punching out, but I'll show you what I do. As my screen goes, in iOS 15 or iPad OS 15, we're getting AirPlay, direct AirPlay from iPhone and iPad to Mac, and that's going to be a game changer for me because at the moment I use Reflector 4, which is okay. It works well most of the time, except when it doesn't. And you've seen twice here today, it's just left the screen magically. So punching in and punching out in GarageBand. So I'll just grab this track. Let's just pretend, because I don't have a guitar or a mic plugged in, but to answer this question, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the plus button down here. We'll just add in a keyboard track, shall we? So we'll go more sounds. We'll go back to our keys, and why don't we add in, let's go some organ or some, classic rock organ, and we'll just throw it into the autoplay mode just so that we can play something in. So we'll go to autoplay 3. We'll just randomly tap this is always fun. We'll just randomly tap a couple of things here. All right, so we've got those in there, and we'll just loop this out so we've got 8 bars. So let's just say that we're recording along with this, so we'll loop it. Now, I'll have to use a virtual guitar because, again, I don't have a guitar plugged in. Let's do some virtual shredding on the guitar, shall we? So we'll grab the Roots Rock so that we can go. Let's go to our notes mode. All right, let's pretend that we're playing something in here, and we're going to come in at this bar 5, right? So we'll just get ourselves ready. All right, that was played really badly. I forgot what key I was in. Yeah, let's just play that. So we'll come in here, and then we'll get to a point here, folks, I promise. All right, we're just playing a little riff here. All right, now that was terrible because it wasn't even in the right notes. So we're here like this. Now, what you're saying is, let's just say that we wanted to punch in to the second half of this. Say we got the first half right. We didn't. But let's just say we got the first half right when we wanted to punch in. What I actually do, because you'd know here that if you wanted to try and punch in by coming back here, you could do that. You can hit record, and it will record over the first half. So let's just try this method to start with. So let's just say we only want to come in here from bar 7, but we're going to come in here from bar 9, bar 5. If we hit record here, so because we recorded all of that, we didn't hear that. It mutes out the first part, and it also overwrites everything. So because we don't have anything of that first one, it's completely overwritten the first track, which is not what we wanted to go with there. So what I tend to do is if I'm punching in, and I know it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but I duplicate out the track, and I record the next bit I want to do onto the next one. So let's say I wanted to punch in after here. What I would do is I'd do this, and then I'd leave this first part of the track, and then I'd come here to a second track and use that as my punch track. I know it's a bit clunky and it's not what you do in other DAWs, but I just find it the most useful way. So if we now record, it'll still play these first two bars, and then I can start playing after that, right? So it's going to play that. I don't know what I was trying to play there. So there we go. So I only played in those bars 7 and 8. And then you got two pieces together, and you're probably already ahead of me. All you need to do then is just bring them both back together on the same track. You might need to do a little cleaning up like that. Got a little bit left over there, and there you go. You've got everything back on the one. So I kind of do that. It's a bit of a sort of comping method, but yeah, creating a second track and then using that to punch in over the top of the first track. And obviously you can go back and forth and use that. But yeah, that's the way I go with things like that. I'm going to delete that because that all sounded just awful. I'm happy to say that, but hopefully the demonstration made sense. But that's the way I do my punching in GarageBand. But yeah, a lot of different ways to do that. And to get your sound sounding the best it can. Where are we at? We're nearly at the midpoint. We were the new show with the new time, the new setup. We are also going to be a shorter show because we did do 2 hours in the past, and we're going to bring it back to 1 hour, maybe a little overtime on the 1 hour, just because it was getting a little bit bloated, and I want to make sure that we stay on track, stay on target. But we still do have a heap of time for your questions. That's the most important part of this show, in my humble opinion, is to get your questions and to get as many of your questions answered as possible. So please keep the questions coming, and we will dive in to our next topic, which is our, call it jazz. Exactly. Call it jazz, and it's fine. I deliberately hit a note that wasn't in that key because jazz. All right, midpoint motivation. Now, we kind of opened with some motivation with the whole, people might hear me and people might judge me and all that sort of thing. But I wanted to talk about something I talked about, I think, in the very first Creator Town Hall. I wanted to revisit this here today because I keep seeing folks focusing so much of their energy on things they can't control. And I want to flip that around and just say that if you can find a way to expend the vast majority of your energy on things you can control, or at very least influence, you're going to have a much better time of it. So, for instance, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that none of us can control, yeah? And a lot of us are spending, myself included, a lot of time thinking about and worrying about it. It's the reason I don't watch the news very often, because what the news is a collection of things that you now know about, that you can now worry about, that you have zero control over. Most of the time, unless you're in politics or unless you are doing something that's making the news, which hopefully not, at least not in a negative way. If there's burglaries happening, hopefully it's not you. But unless you're doing things like that, you don't have any control over those. But we're at the point now where with social media, with the media in general, we are bombarded with information. We're bombarded with problems. And our brains are designed to be little problem-solving computers, yeah? To make sure that when things come in, we need to try and fix them. And have you ever had that feeling of helplessness where you're like, there's so many things wrong in the world and I can't fix any of them. What am I going to do? And you just go into overwhelm? Yeah, that probably means you're a creative. And if you're watching this show, you're a creative. So how do you turn that around? Well, I first of all recommend going on a bit of a diet sometimes. Sometimes you'll know when you're feeling this. You need to go on a social media diet and a media in general diet, which just means you switch off for a bit. You take a step away and you focus in on the things that you can control. And the reason I don't say just only what you can control, because there are also things you can influence. So I can't control a lot of things that go on with this job, with other companies that I work with people within the community, because they have free will. Free will's awesome. It's amazing. So I don't control those people. That's a good thing. But I do have influence. I can choose to use that influence in a positive way or in a negative way. Now, a lot of people online, sadly, choose to use their influence in a negative way, but I try to do it in a positive way as much as possible. So by influencing in a positive way, I can help as many people as possible, and hopefully that pays it forward, and then people within the community continue to influence other people that they can influence in a positive way. But the way I look at it is an 80-20 rule. And that is that in a perfect world, I think I would concentrate 80% on the things I can control. I would concentrate 20% on the things I can influence and 0% on the things I can't control. Now, is that possible? No, because there's too many things to actually come into your head for that to be the case, and B, you'd end up being like a bit of a dick because if you did do that, because part of that not control is actually just caring about other people. So I think more realistically, let's go 70-20-10, yeah? Let's go 70% what you can control, your focus, 20% on what you can influence, and 10% on what you can't control. And use that 10% for empathy. So empathy for other folks where you can't help them. You can't do anything for someone all the time. But what you can do is just be a good person. Be there to listen and be there to empathize. So that is the 10%. But you know what? When you're watching the news and poor Mavis got broken into at night and had her antique spoon collection stolen, I don't have the energy. There's a book by Mark Maron called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And he talks about that we only have a certain amount of Fs to give. And as sad as I am for Mavis that her antique spoon collection's gone, if I expend my energy on Mavis, it means I'm not expending energy on people that are within my circle that will even know. Like Mavis doesn't know or care if Pete Johns in Adelaide cares about her spoons, right? Anyway, hopefully there's some food for thought in that rambling of ranting that might help you out this week with your creating. All right, let's jump in. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a look at some questions that have come in through the week. Actually, we've got some live questions here. So I'll answer the live questions, and then we'll jump in to some of the questions that have come in during the week. Barry Smith says, between them, which one will get the best vocal preset between GarageBand or Cubase's? It depends. It's a big giant. It depends. I like the presets in GarageBand because I'm familiar with them and they work with my workflow. So if you're asking, should I try Cubasis 3? Yeah, try the LE version of Cubasis 3. You can download like a free kind of trial version, see if you like the workflow, and then if you do, you can drop down the $30-40 and buy it. But yeah, I think it's worth having Cubasis 3. It's a good platform and it's definitely got a lot more features than GarageBand in the long run. Josiah says, how did Studio Live Today start back in the day? I have talked about it a few times before. I'll give you the quick 30-second version. I started creating in Reaper on the PC. I found it super complicated. I grabbed my iPad and iPhone and went, oh, there's a GarageBand thing here. I tried to look for tutorials about GarageBand and couldn't really find a whole heap. Patrick at the GarageBand Guide had a few, but there wasn't stuff that went into the basics and the level of depth that I wanted. I started creating in GarageBand, and while I was creating, I thought, hey, I'll just document my process. The best way to learn sometimes is to teach. So while I learn, I will just make videos. This was back in 2006. I started making videos for the first couple of years, maybe only about 20 per year. And then had about 500 subscribers and went, wow, there's actually a community of people that want to know this stuff. So I leveled up, started creating more videos, moved to at least a video a week, and then eventually moved to a video per day. And the rest, as they say, is history. So it all came about from the fact that I couldn't find, and this happens a lot, like, a lot of products are invented from people that can't find the product that they want. Studio Live Today came about because I wanted sort of in-depth but simple information that could help me with everything I wanted to know about recording. So from there, my goal now is, like I say, to help as many people as possible create, record, and release their best music, and doing that by having the answer to everything. I want to get to the point where any question you have about GarageBand, mobile recording, creating, songwriting, whatever, if you ask that question, I've got a simple and easy to follow tutorial right here on YouTube that is going to show up and that will help you straight away. That's the quick version. I said 30 seconds. That was about 2 minutes. Northern Ear says, is there a way to affect specific parts of the drum when using a virtual drummer? Could, say, have 5 drummer tracks all playing one part and merge them once they're mixed. So drummer tracks, no. Drum tracks, yes. The reason for that is that here in GarageBand, you can only have 2 drummer tracks. So if we go in here and we add a second drummer, like so, we've got 2 Kyles. Heaven help us. Someone asked a question. Actually, we'll get to that question in a moment. Someone asked a question about the drummer, which I'll answer shortly. But say we got these 2 Kyles here now. Double Kyle goodness. Then we go in here and we try to add another drummer track. It's grayed out. So we can't do that. So you can do it with 2. And I've actually done that before. So you'll know that if you come in here to the drummer, what you can do is you can say, all right, I just want you to do the kick. So Kyle, and if you turn the fills completely off, it's just going to be Kyle's kick, right? It did start with a oh no, it didn't start with a cymbal. That's the other Kyle playing that. That's this Kyle playing the cymbal. But then what I could do is come in here and I want this Kyle. In fact, let's just make it even different. Let's just say we wanted Logan. We wanted Logan's snare and hi-hat. Then we can, we'll just make it a little bit different. Then we can do that. So now, and we'll take Logan's kick drum off. So now if we come out here, if we solo Logan, we're not going to get any kick here. We're just going to get snare and hi-hat. And if we bring Kyle back in, Kyle's going to be covering the kick. So you can do it that way. And it would be cool if you could then layer up a whole bunch of them. You can't, unfortunately. But what you can do is you can transition your drummer tracks and convert them into drum tracks. I've got a video here. We don't have time to show it in the show today. Just search Pete Johns Convert Drummer. You can convert a drummer track into individual drum tracks, and that will make them these blue drums. So if you've used the manual drums before or the beat sequencer, you can come out here. So let's just, I'll just use the beat sequencer and get a acoustic Brooklyn and record this sucker in. 2, 3, 4. Sounded like a mess now because I've got so many drums going on. But you get, it's not blue, green. So you get the green sort of drum tracks in here. So what you could do then, and I've showed this before, is if you've got this track, we'll just solo this one. So here's this Brooklyn track. What you could then do is split these drums out by simply duplicating there. I think I showed this last week. Duplicate, copy, paste down here, and then just remove everything but, so if we come in here and we'll go to edit, remove, say, everything but the kick drum in this first track. And so this one's just going to be your kick by just tapping and dragging everything else, tapping again and hitting delete. There you go, you've got just a kick track, and then you could go ahead and keep duplicating out and make all your other tracks here. So if we went to this one and we wanted to make this just the hats, we could do that. Remove all those, tap it, delete it. And there you go. We've got 2 tracks, one just doing the kicks and one just doing the hats. And this can be useful because then you can control the panning. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to pan your kick anywhere else or anything else, but say you wanted your hats to come up over here, then you can do that sort of stuff. So yeah, gives you more control over your drums. So that's an option I'd explore. But I talk about all of that in that video. So again, just search that one out. Search Pete Johns Convert Drummer, and then it will show you how to convert your drummer tracks into regular drum tracks. And hopefully that helps you out. Stephen Rowe said, hey Pete, thanks for all your content. It's really helped me with GarageBand iOS over the past year. I've recently been trying to focus on only the things I can control, and one of those can be music. Exactly. What can you control is most of the time, short of your guitar breaking or your keyboard dying, there are things that you can't control. But you know what? If you can whack a couple of pieces of sticks, you can whack a couple of sticks together, you can create some sort of music, yeah? So it doesn't always have to be the way. I know Paul Mavis and his spoons. Oh. Hey, it's Gary Hubbs. Hey, Gary Hubbs. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We've got any other questions? Weary Pirate just bought a Fender Mustang bass. I love the look of the Mustang bass. I think if I buy a new bass, it will be a Mustang bass. What do you want in GarageBand in the future? A master track, master bus. I actually did a video. Again, you can search Pete Johns GarageBand features or GarageBand wish list. We went through that about 6 months ago. We went through a list of all the things that I want to see in GarageBand. So you can go and check that one out if you like. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Guzzo. If you do want to support the channel, you can use the thumbs up button. It's just down below, and that will tell me that you like this show, you like this new format, you like this snappier format, this earlier time slot, and we're all going well. So thank you, appreciate it. Hello to Anthony Drower. Thank you for the super chat. I've remixed Madonna and Billie Eilish at the Apple Store. Are there songs available to download to do that? Do you have a video on it? Yes, so I don't have a video on this particularly. It's really hard to do videos on remixes because every time you play a song that is someone else's song and you put it on YouTube, you get a copyright claim. So I do have to be super careful about doing that sort of thing. I have a heap of videos about different types of music and mixing different types of music. I've got videos about how to get songs from your videos, basically, how to extract audio from videos and then bring that into things like GarageBand. So there are a heap on here. It's an interesting one, and maybe it's something that I will re-explore. There's actually a platform that sent me an email during the week that is like a platform where you give it a song and it tries to remove all the stems for you and like give you different stems, which is basically like different tracks. So it'll get the vocals, it'll get the drums, and it'll get the like melody instruments, and it'll try and separate those out. So I don't know how well it works. I haven't tried it yet, but yeah, I will be exploring that in the future. So I guess watch this space. So don't specifically have a video on that right now, but if you've got ideas, then do let me know. You can always email me. All the contact details are down in the description. And if you do want to support the channel on a more regular basis, Patreon. If you support me on Patreon at the $5 or above level, you get access to my super secret email address where you can actually request videos. So a lot of the videos that you see here are from my patrons who are like, Pete, it would be great if you had a video on X. And then I go away and create one because that's how this channel works. We're creating videos. We're creating videos to help you out. I'm not sure what audio bus is. What are audio buses and master buses? Yeah, you might have to look that one up. Basically, a bus is just simply a way of sending one track or many tracks to another track. So if you're talking about a bus, you'd have like a reverb. You would send a whole bunch of tracks and you'd bus them over to your reverb track or your reverb bus. That's the way it is. And master's the same. Your master bus is just the bus that everything goes through. It's like the freeway, the 2-lane freeway that everything else goes through. Frigsy, g'day to you. Because I'm one step above a tape recorder, I have a clock ticking sample in my next song, but I want to speed it up over maybe 20 seconds. Does anyone know how to do that? Ramping. Tempo ramping is something that is bloody hard to do. There are DAWs that do it. So Pro Tools has tempo ramping. Logic on Mac does have tempo ramping. You basically map it out and say, I want it to go from 100 BPM here to 120 BPM here. Please change the tempo as it goes through, and it will actually change that tempo for like speed ups and slowdowns. I think Auria Pro may be the only mobile DAW that allows for tempo ramping. Could be wrong on that. The other way to do it is just to manually put it in there. I've done that before for speed changes where I've literally just had to manually change it. There's no good way that I've come across that works. So yeah, hopefully, I know that doesn't help you out, but hopefully that gives you some ideas there of things that you can explore. But yeah, it is one of the harder things to do. Multiple tempos is kind of doable in GarageBand just by using two projects and then slamming them together afterwards. Doing a tempo ramp is hard, but maybe that's the beauty of this show. Someone may be watching on the replay going, Pete, you're an idiot. It's all you need to do is use this one app and then it does it all for you. So maybe that's it. There is audio stretch. I don't think it helps you do that because it doesn't support ramping. But if you're looking to just change the pitch or the tempo of a particular track, audio stretch, here it is. Audio stretch is the way to do it. So with audio stretch, you can come in here and you can adjust the speed here. So you can speed things up and you can adjust the pitch, but you can only do it in a flat way. You can't do it in multiple so that it actually ramps. So, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Stephen Rose says, I do have an idea for software you could maybe do a video on. I use it for my guitar with GarageBand. I'll send you an email. Go for it. Yeah, pete@studiolivetoday.com. Couldn't be simpler. I don't always have the time or the capacity to do everything that's suggested. So I'll give you that caveat going in, but you can't hurt to suggest it. It might be something that really is cool and really resonates with the viewers here. So I do have to be selective. I know I do a video every day, but I do have to be selective about what we look at. Question from Bubba, what's the name of the app filter that separates out stems? Sorry, I missed it. No, I didn't actually say it. So I've used one in the past, and I can't remember what it was called. Let me just check my email here, because I did get an email, and I've responded to it, so it should be here in my You know how we talked about things you can control and things you can't control? Yeah. It's that. If I could get a thumbs up just to make sure that you can hear me while we are rebooting the studio here at Studio Live Today Studios, that would be just great. Yeah, so Bubba, what we were talking about was the question that's on the screen there. Yeah, Mark saying didn't expect a toilet break in the town hall. Wasn't intentional. We will reboot and we'll see if we've got this. We'll probably have to reboot the modem. We got some roadworks going on in the area at the moment, and I'm pretty sure that's what's knocked the NBN, which is our internet, out here. So hopefully we're back. Yeah, we got some thumbs up. Cool. We're working, so we're going to go a bit lo-fi here. While we log back in here. So yeah, Bubba, it was called like Hit FX or Hit Remix, or I think Deep Mix. I think I said it just before I went away, but I will find it again once we log back in. We'll just need to put my password in. Don't listen. Because you can hear the password, but there you get a slightly different view here from my iPhone. Why didn't that punch in? Da, 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 da. Yeah, so it was it's good timing that this happened again because my rant, my that other people should respond when it comes to things like this. So hopefully that was the case. Where are we? There we go. Hello, Desolate Morning. You've joined us just in time for a slight mishap and malfunction, and we're just checking whether I can actually bring myself back onto the desktop or whether we have a more habitual, more problematic thing with our internet. Yeah, it looks like it's actually more of a problem. So we may be here on the phone. So I hope no one gets motion sickness because we may be here on the phone. Well, there's my finger. I've got to use it this way for the rest of the show. We were going to finish up pretty soon anyway, but what I'll do is I'll jump over here and I'll grab on my iPad the questions we're going to answer. And if you've got questions, yeah, this is just going to be a bit more of a casual kind of chat for a little while. So I'll jump to the questions here and I'll explain a few things that we're going to get. So Raymond Gregory said, instead of exporting your song and then importing back in, can you just merge all the tracks down to one? So yeah, if you're going to I've got to change hands. There we go. That's better. If you're using GarageBand and you are looking to master your tracks, then yeah, you can actually do that. You can instead of just exporting and then re-importing as a WAV file, you can grab all your tracks and then you can actually just merge them all down to one, and that can work quite effectively to give yourself a better time of it and a better sound. What was I saying? Yes. So yeah, it's hard to explain that without actually showing it. It would be great to be able to show, but we can't do it here. Forgot what Pete's ears look like. I know, because we don't have to have the headphones on. Question: what internet service do you use? An unreliable one, apparently. I use Internode. This isn't Internode's fault, but I use Internode here in Australia. So that's who we're using here to do that. Yeah, exactly. Kim's trying to figure out what was different. Yeah, the audio is going to be a bit different, but this is a good test. It's a good test to see whether we can come back and do this live. You know what? Let's do some live troubleshooting, shall we? Let's come over here and we'll check. Yep, because we're still connected according to that modem. So we'll come here. We'll turn off. This is turn it off and on. This is the old universal fix, right? So we're going to unplug the modem. You're getting a real behind the scenes look here today. We'll unplug that one. We'll unplug my Google Home, and then we'll plug back in. Hopefully there's nothing embarrassing in the background from this shot. This is fun, yeah? All right, we're plugged back into the Google Home, and we're going to turn back on. Normally I'd wait longer than that, but we'll give it a go for a quick fix here today, and we'll see if we come back. And if we don't, so be it. We'll be fine. All right, another question I got through the week. Let's come here. Was this one? This is from Etafa. Can someone help me? I've connected my Steinberg UR12 to my laptop. It was working fine for months. Suddenly, the USB light started flashing and it wouldn't connect. It's very on and off. What am I doing wrong? Now, when it comes to this sort of thing, it usually comes down to power. So usually it's a power situation where a powered USB hub is what you need. So I recommend the 10 DAC powered USB hub. I'm trying to see if I can actually show it there. You know what I can do? I can roll over here. I'm actually not minding being mobile. I can roll over here because Atola just sent me this. Here, this will be relevant. Atola just sent me this one, which is a brand new 8-port hub. Let me show you this one real quick. Hey, we got internet back. Let me show you this one real quick, and then we'll jump back over to the main rig. So this is actually, I've showed my patrons this already, but this is a really nice hub, and I'm going to be checking it out this week. It's only about $30, and look at the build quality on this. Oh, get out of there. Look at this. It's aluminium. It's got the charging port there. It's got four USB 3 ports and 3 USB 2 ports. And plugs in there, goes straight into your power there, creates 5 volts of power to everything. So if you're having, even if you're on a desktop, a PC or a Mac, as opposed to a mobile device, and you're having trouble, use something like this. It can really work for you. And it comes included with the power adapter there, except it's a US one, so I have to go in through a plug. But that's okay, that's easy enough to do. And your little USB 3 connector. So if you've got USB devices and you're having this sort of problem, grab yourself a powered hub. The 10DAC one that I use is good. It's $20. This one, if you need some extra ports, is about $30, and I'll be reviewing this one during the week, so keep an eye out for that. All right, should we try and get back online? This is always fun. All right, well, we'll see. We'll get the headphones back on while you look at my ceiling. Someone that's joining halfway through. Actually, I won't get the headphones yet. Someone joining halfway through is like, what is going on? This is the weirdest Studio Live Today episode I've ever seen. All right, we're going to come in here. I'm going to turn my mic volume down so that when we rejoin here on StreamYard, it doesn't have puppies. So there you go. You get to see the treadmill too. It's a rare appearance of the treadmill in the corner there. All right, we're going to re-enter the studio here. It's going to get a bit weird and inception-y for a moment, and then I'll be able to turn off the mobile here and be back on, and we'll be all good. Look, you get to see a picture of me holding my phone. Hello. That's just weird. That's weirdness. All right, so what I should be able to do now is I'll remove myself from here. I won't end the stream, but I'll just close out from here. We'll get rid of me here. See ya. And come back up over here. Yeah, I can hear that. So we'll turn that one off. Is that gone away? Nearly? Goodbye. All right. What a journey, hey? Nothing like doing things on the fly, I say. So, we're back. Can I get another thumbs up to make sure that we're back over here now? That would be awesome. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody. I appreciate you. There you go. Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to love live. Now you get to see what I do when I set up a stream too, because you'll see, look, I look a bit weird, don't I? All the colors are washed out. So I use an app called Webcam Settings, which does a great job here on the Mac. Boom, there you go. And it already does that. So Webcam Settings is a little resident program. Actually, I can show you, can't I? I'll show you what it looks like. If we share my screen over here, share this one. So yeah, Webcam Settings is actually really cool. If you use a Mac, it's only about $10, and you can come in here and look, we show the panel, and you get to control. You get full control over your camera's exposure, over the gain, the brightness, the contrast, saturation, sharpness. You've got some advanced properties in here. You can zoom in and out. You can control focus. You can make it autofocus or manual focus. It works really well. So yeah, there you go. You got a bonus. You got troubleshooting tips, how to troubleshoot a dodgy connection like that. And you got a bit of info about webcam settings. The other thing that I run is Reflector. So if we go to this one and we go Reflector 4, this is how I reflect up my iPad screen. So when we come in here, what I'm going to do is go to my iPad, flick down from the corner, hit the screen mirroring, and hit Pete's Mac Mini. And like magic, in a couple of seconds, it's going to do this. Boom! There we are. We're back. And then what I have to do, actually, to get the audio, because the audio is now coming through, but the audio is coming through as AirPlay. And if you know anything about AirPlay, you'll know that it's quite delayed. You get quite a lot of latency in AirPlay. So what I then do, and this is a tip if you're using this sort of thing, is I unplug my Lightning to USB adapter in the side, and then I plug, not my Lightning, my USB-C to USB adapter, and then I plug it back in, because that then brings the audio back, and it means that if we come back out here to something like GarageBand, with these weirdo drummers we were playing before, we should be able to click play. Yep. And they're coming through with beautiful low latency right into a channel on my mixer. So there you go. Who knew that we'd be showing a bunch of this sort of stuff here today? Not me, but that's the fun of live. You got to roll with it, man. Like I couldn't control that. I can't control when my internet's just going to fail. But you know what I can do? I can jump on the mobile. We can have a chat, and then I can show you how we get set up again. Christopher Josiah, my HP computer has static in the mic, and I don't know why. What is doing that? Depends on the mic. Depends on the interface. It's usually to do with some sort of ground loop. A powered USB hub, like I was showing before, can help in a big way. So that gives you some nice clean power going in if you're using a USB mic or something like that. Or, yeah, it could just be you can get things like power conditioners that you can plug into your power socket to make sure it removes any sort of interference or ground hum or loop or stuff that you get. So that'd be some possibilities. All right, we are back to normal. Good stuff. Oh, good fun. Yeah, perfect way to start a Monday. Exactly. What could possibly go wrong for the rest of the week? Yeah, Thomas, I know that you use. Oh, if you can still hear me. Oh, now my Mac has crashed. You would not believe it. You would not believe it if I told you. It's that's just amazing. We're gonna jump back on the phone and then we're gonna say goodbye because I think something's telling me that we need to do it. It's like every time I mention something going wrong, something else goes wrong, and it's just the way things roll sometimes. So it's not worth worrying about. But it looks like the odds are stacked against me here today. Let's enter the studio here and welcome back. Oh, I am still going through. That's weird. At my end, it is not showing anything, and I am still coming through. Yeah, it's good. But see, now I know that I'm actually coming through on the other one. But see, look, I'm covering my face there. Oh dear. I know I'm still on the other one. I've had to turn my mic down there because yeah. Now I'm stuck over here, and I can't change the layout and get rid of the other me. So this is going to be the end of one of the weirder creator town halls where you get to see two Pete's talking to you from two different angles. Actually, if I just get rid, no, I can't. I've got no control over it on the Mac, so I'm frozen. My face is frozen there. I'll show you. Let me spin you around. I'll show you what I've got. So that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm looking at me with a goofy look on my face and Freaksy saying "perfect way to start a Monday," and I can't control it. So something wacky's going on here today. Is it that space wind or those solar things that Jane's often talking about? It's probably something like that, isn't it? Alrighty. Was there anything else I needed to tell you urgently? I can't see. I can't even see the questions. Oh yeah, Pete squared. Double Pete goodness. Exactly. Great guest today. I know you've got to. Today we've got Pete Johns. Wave Pete Johns. Hi. Um, yeah, we are going to call it there. So tomorrow we've got Garage Band Weekly, and hopefully we're going to have a little bit more success. I'll turn everything off. I'll turn it off and on. I'll defrag my heart. I don't know. Does defragging even a thing anymore? I don't know. We'll have some fun tomorrow. I'm sure. We did have some fun today, so we did manage to get through most of it. I've got some hidden gems. That what I might do is we'll save those for next week because there's some cool hidden gems, but we spent the last 10 minutes kind of playing around here. So we'll save them for last week. Yeah, as Jasmine is saying here, that the Wi-Fi is down. Yes, I know we've got all sorts of technical issues. So I'm going to go and turn everything off and back on again, which is the universal fix for everything. But please join me tomorrow when we'll hopefully have some better Wi-Fi, some better internet access for GarageBand Weekly. I'm working out, but I should be on another live show later in the week, which I'll let you know about as well. But until next time, folks, come on. If there wasn't a better practical example of why you just need to go with the flow, to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, I will remember that when I'm ringing my internet service provider in a little while, and keep creating, folks, because it's the only way to go. All right. Bye over there. Bye up there. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.